My school in Florida got a call that I was a pedophile, and immediately um, the office person who hires me every day, I was substituting, came to the class and told me about it. Um, and so I went to the police. There's always a police in every school. So I said, somebody called in here that I'm a pedophile. Can we track this down and see what's happening? She says, well, look, we don't have to worry about it. Now, if you were a pedophile, we would have known because, they did check your background to allow you to teach here, so don't worry about it, okay? But still, doubts linger because this teacher, this office person would come and check on me often in the class. One day she come and two young ladies were sitting at my desk and we were haggling about their grades. And she harshly rebuked them and asked them to leave my desk. And I probably could have been working there permanently because I had connected with the black guys and, Father Fig and so on, and everything was good. But I felt like, I didn't want to be around there because of this call. Now, this call came at a time when the Florida Department of Children and Families was taking my child away, and they had given me a task, 7 or so things to do: show stable employment, stable housing, pay child support, attend a backwards intervention program, attend child training class. Um, that might be it. But all of these things were just bogus because, you see, as a black person, I had been talking a lot on television about America about to collapse and so on, and many of the journalists and other people were saying that I've been to college and I've never heard anything like that and so on. And the judges, the police, everybody in the society got upset. When I thought we would have worked together and look at what I was saying, because I was saying that the enemy has undermined the social institutions like family, education, religion, economy, politics, sports, and war to such an extent that if we don't go in and do some things, it's going to collapse. And, the military is the pinnacle and it's the best in the world, but if other things like those are disintegrating, then, the military can be affected too. So they decided that they're going to take my child, and it's a long, bizarre thing. I was in California. Somebody broke into my van and stole my identification, and I believe it's the government. So I had to go back to Florida to get papers straightened out. And while I'm there, the child was born a couple of days before, and so started the whole deal in trying to take her away. I was working 40 hours a week or 35 hours a week with the school. That was full time. But the Department of the Children and Family says that's not stable employment because I'm a substitute teacher. And I had an apartment that I was paying about $350 a month or something like that. And somebody came up, pulled out the air conditioning in the wall. They put in some fuse that the electricity was tripping off, so I had to run a cable from upstairs. The Department of Children and Families came and wanted to know what the cable was about. And so we moved to another place, and they were upstairs. The government again, they're throwing out nasty water. The fellow, the sewer bust, and he wouldn't, fix it and all that. So they set up the environment to say that the housing was inadequate. There was no domestic violence. It was just that the child mother liked to play rough. There was no breaking bones and no throwing anything and shooting and all that stuff. Doesn't qualify. There was no need for child support because the child was living with me and her mom. So they just come to this thing, and it's ironic that white folks could use the court and the police and everything to affect their social agenda. In other words, as a black person, I should have been seen and not heard. At around 4 years of age, I had never been to jail, and I told the guys, I said, man, white folks just go to jail. I'm 6 and I've never been to jail. And they assured me that as long as you live in this city, Jacksonville, you will go to jail as a black man. So the first time I went to jail, this girl, white girl from Chicago, she had a new car with a Chicago license plate. So I talked to her and I asked her, I said, are you with the government? She said, no. And we started the thing, and she ended up getting me charged with domestic violence. She cut my hand. I called the cops. They took me to jail. So this calling in this pedophile complaint It wasn't. It was just malicious, and it could have been the government. Could have been the Department of Children and Families had somebody call in, either Children Home Society or Summer Saladino from the Department of Children and Families. She was the attorney there, or Tiffany Kelly from Children, the Children's Home Society. Man, this case was so bizarre. I never seen justice so much. But the pedophile called, though, this guy in California, Mark, that was doing the taste test with his semen. He was investigated in '94 and said there's not sufficient evidence, and they never made it a big deal, and probably they never informed him, because if he had been informed that there was an investigation going on and he continued in that way, then he's crazy. But I don't think they did. Maybe they just didn't want to put in this record and the whole 9 yards. So again, we see where the young lady that was kidnapped in California by the pedophile, again, you know, they went to his home, white guy, parole officer, she's there with the kids, never went in the backyard and all that stuff. So, you know what, I'm so glad that I'm always on the investigations, especially when teaching. I have no intentions of messing with young children, but there's an additional incentive to stay away. I don't talk with them, I don't hug them, I don't kiss them, I don't, like to give them money, and, a variety of other things that, could lead on to things, or could be perceived as that. I recall at the same school where they called in the pedophile call, a young boy, he was gay, and he was in middle school, he was about 7th grade or something like that. And I went to the other school, and he was there, and we were laughing, and this amusement and so on. And a white teacher slid over and asked him, is he one, in other words, is he a sex partner or something? Because why, he said, no, he was my teacher at another school, and we had some incidents that he's kind of, laughing at. So they always investigate, you see what I'm saying? And I say, thank God for them, man. And don't investigate your brothers. As a matter of fact, I think with the amount of evil that is in the world today, all this Halloween and all the various forms of evil, the world is, maybe the majority of folks now are evil. In fact, in the taking away my child trial, my girlfriend said that I said that people are evil, and the judge was saying, oh, he's crazy. Because this judge, he too seemed to be evil, because he lied about his finances, he did a whole bunch of stuff to win the judgeship. And instead of them throwing his bet out, the Judicial Commission, Qualifications Commission just censured him at the Supreme Court in Florida. So evil people are gathering, and I wouldn't be surprised to know that these 2 or 3 incidents in California is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, this thing is so widespread, and evil is so profuse and affecting folks in such profound ways. But I'm on the children's side, and I think that we need to protect children. And as an attorney, if I become an attorney, or when I become an attorney, one of my major endeavors is going to be to protect the kids. So I hope the government allows me to become an attorney so I can help protect the kids. But there was no evidence. I mean, the police officer even said, look, I mean, the way you could be a sexual predator is that you have to be convicted. You can't be labeled that if you're a suspect or you've never been involved in that. And I've never been, I don't play with kids. I made that decision a long time ago. I'm not messing with little kids. I don't want to have any conversation with them. At school, when we ride through the communities, they say, I just ride on straight or drive on. I'm not going to stop and have no conversation, because as a black man, black people, white people, everybody can call and say, I see a big man talking to your son, let's check it out, maybe he's, some kind of deal.